please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody, so our final piece of news for today, at least I think it's the final piece of news for today. There's been quite a bit going on. Jeff Petry has signed a 4-year extension with the Montreal Canadiens. So the Canadiens lock up Petry for a pretty long term here, 4 years at $6.25 million per year. So pretty big contract for Jeff Petry. He had a really nice year last year. I still certainly have questions about his defensive game, but he played really well this past season, was very good offensively, scored a lot of points for them. So they lock up one of the key pieces to that defense core in Montreal, and we'll see how this works out long term. Again, I think the money is a little big. It's a little bigger than I expected. It's a large contract, but given what Jonas Brodin got from Minnesota, I guess it's not all that unexpected. But again, probably a little more than I would have liked to have paid for Jeff Petry. Now, for the Canadiens, they just locked up Joel Edmondson. They traded for Edmondson and then locked him up to a deal. So now they've got Petry and Edmondson locked up. Obviously, Shea Weber is still on his very long contract. So Weber, Petry, and Edmondson seems to be the core of that Montreal defense going forward here. And those guys are all on fairly long-term contracts now with the Canadiens. So again, a little bit bigger of a contract than I would have expected for Petry money-wise, but if he continues to put up the points like he did last year, then it will end up being worth it. I just don't know if he's going to be that level of defenseman year in and year out, and that's just something that we're going to have to wait and see how it all works out over the next few seasons. But like I said in the Joel Edmondson video, I really think I'd like to see an Edmondson-Petry pairing. I want to see those two together, and I want to see how that works out. And I think that could be a very, very solid second pair for Montreal. And you have Petry, who's the more offensive guy. I certainly have questions about his defensive game, and he's pretty brutal in his own zone at times. But if you let Petry kind of be the offensive guy of that pairing and then let Edmondson be the defensive guy, and Edmondson's a much more defensively sound defensive defenseman, I think that could end up being a really, really good number 2 pair for Montreal. And you let, Edmondson take care of their own zone and focus on defense, and you let Petry focus on being the offensive guy and scoring points, and you get a pretty good dynamic duo there at both ends of the ice who can do things at, up and down the rink. And, I think that could end up being a really, really solid second pair if they both play to their potential and it works out for Montreal. So, and they got Edmondson on a little bit cheaper of a deal than I thought they were going to. So, you give and take a little bit with the money. Petry got a little bit more than I would have liked to have spent on him, but you got Edmondson for a little bit less than I thought they were going to have to spend on him. So money-wise, I guess between the two, it does even out. I want to see them at least tried as a D pair and see how it goes. I think they could be really, really good together. And that could end up really solidifying that defense for Montreal, having a really solid second pair after having Shea Weber on the top pair, locking things down up top. So, again, I do overall like this move for Montreal. I'm just a little interested to see how it works out long term, if Petry can continue to play the way that he did this past season, or if his game goes back downhill a little bit. Again, we don't know. That's not anything that we're going to know until it happens or until they're playing again. But I was thoroughly impressed with Jeff Petry this season, particularly in the playoffs. I thought in the play-in round and in the first round against Philadelphia, Petry was particularly good for Montreal. So he earned this contract, and Montreal gives it to him. And we'll have to wait and see how it all works out long term. But look for that Edmondson-Petry pairing in Montreal. I'd really like to see them together. I think that could be a really good dynamic between the two, and it could really solidify Montreal's defense core. But we'll see what happens. Petry is locked up, though, for the next 4 years. in addition to his current contract. So long-term deal for Jeff Petry with the Montreal Canadiens. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, our donation link, merch store, and Patreon links are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.